Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
You just said, by the way, this sketch artist, you said, I love how the artist emphasized the oversized shoulder pads he uses to disguise his tiny matronly shoulders.
So he's such a phony. The guy who's constantly screaming about fake news is the fakest of all. I mean, everything from his hair on down to his lifts and everything in between, the giant baggy suits and the kabuki face makeup and all the rest of it. This is all Donald Trump hiding who he actually is. I mean, that's how desperate he is and how insecure and brittle he is.
Yeah.
Because... yeah, and that also speaks to, I mean, his whole visage, his whole brand is a lie, and we're seeing that playing out now in Judge Engoron's court, where it cuts to the very being of who he is as a person and as a brand. Yeah. The fact that he's being accused of this giant business empire that he's constantly bragging about. I mean, that's his whole thing, is turning out to be a mountain of fraud, right? And so everything applies. Everything applies. That's what he is at his core. He's a fraud. Yeah. And the sooner that gets out, I wish there were video cameras in the courtrum to
Bob,
get the
to everything
tantrum.
you've said today, I keep saying I could be wrong. I don't think he's going to be the candidate. I think you're right. He's going to be convicted in a number of venues. I think there were a number. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the standard. I mean, section, the 14th Amendment, Section 3 doesn't call for a conviction in court in order to be disqualified. Right. But I think the Supreme Court will look to that as being the litmus test for whether or not the 14th Amendment will apply, and that will establish a precedent for how we deal with people like Donald Trump moving forward.
Yeah. All that being said, if there's one more of these bad polls, I'm going to have to take more. Whisper all. You tweeted for fellow Democrats spreading Fox News talking points about Biden's age. Remember when he owned the entire Republican caucus on Social Security during the State of the Union this year, live on national television? No president of any age ever accomplished that feat before. Give me 15. This is Jake Tapper with talking about, again, here we go with David Axelrod, whoever, talking about Biden stepping down. Here we go.
Do you agree with Axelrod's take that, Biden should consider stepping aside maybe for the good of the country?
Well, look, I think David Axelrod's point, I mean, we're at the point in the cycle where we fall back on the clocks and somebody comes out and says that the president should not be the nominee.
Yeah, and then she went on to say, quickly, Bob, here we go, get your take.
We saw this, I'm sure David Axelrod will remember, in 2011. There were pollsters in November of 2011 who wrote an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal saying, Barack Obama should not be the nominee, and in fact, he should step down and allow Hillary Clinton to take the nomination by acclamation. Doug Schoen. It was indeed.
Yes, it was Doug Schoen. Yes, and if you'll recall, Bernie talked about primarying Obama back at that point. So, Bob, is a lot of strategists say this would be the biggest gift Republicans ever got, right? For us, And
it's such a nonsense issue, the Biden's age thing. Yeah. There's no indication that Joe Biden has checked out of cabinet meetings or he's falling asleep during policy discussions or anything like that. Nothing like that is leaking out. And with the way the press is these days, scrutinizing every time Joe Biden farts, we've got a New York Times front page headline for that. And so they would obviously report on something like Joe Biden, like the president of the United States being out of touch during policy discussions and cabinet meetings and things that we saw during the second term of Ronald Reagan, to be honest. Yeah. And so that's not happening at all, on top of the fact that, this year, it was whenever the State of the Union address was, March. He outsmarted the entire Republican caucus on live national television, a spontaneous moment, got them to concede that they will not cut Social Security and Medicare on live television. He negotiated on live television. No president of any age, of any status,
on
has ever done that.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And on the other hand, this 3 years younger modeled canned ham in an oversized suit. There it is, my first drink of the day, Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, But this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And ZBiotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine, I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. ZBiotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.